Happy Thursday, brother. How are you?
Hey, sister, how are you doing?
I'm excited to be back in the Rose Garden. I certainly needed my therapy this week. It's been an interesting week.
Oh, really? No, I can't wait to hear.
I know. For all of y'all who are new to joining us, my name is Sarita. I am one half of this sibling pair. And brother, this is episode 12 of season two. So we've been doing this a lot. Look at us shaking. We have two seasons of being in Rose's in our grandmother Rose Garden. This is an ode to her. And when we come into the Rose Garden, we come really for our own personal therapy. Um, we would be here if you all weren't here or not, but we're happy that you're here. And we learned so much from everything. The group chat really informs most of our discussions lately. But today we have a little um, more about ourselves that we're going to share because some new people have been watching it. And I'm loving that we got new fans. Like it's feeling good that people are actually watching our podcast. And they had some questions about um, who we really were. And somebody asked a good question like, are y'all really brother and sister? Or you know how black people call each other sister. So I said that to mom. I told mommy recently, I'm like, yeah, they people are really struggling. And she's like, I don't understand. You guys look alike and you're sharing like grow up stories. Like, what are people doing? But I guess people don't think for sure that we're siblings. So I have a fun little activity. We're gonna do a sibling quiz to see where we fall in the birth order and see if our characteristics that we display here on this show and probably in our life match where we were born. And then I want us to share something personal about our own stories that we don't mind the audience knowing. So that's how we're gonna start the show today. Are you up for all of that, brother? Like you gotta people want to know.
Yeah, I'm game for everything. I'm always up for it. So we
Pe-
just let's get with it.
Does it surprise you that people ask if we're really siblings? Like I really do feel like we look alike. I'm like,
Yeah, that's surprising to me. I mean, I understand. I'm curious as to why they have some doubts in that way. I'm curious on that.
I think because
Why do they feel like the dynamic is not suggesting that that we come from the same mother and father and circumstances and experiences or something like
I
what make
guess,
them
or
feel
maybe
that way.
we just think so. I think we generally have a lot of alignment. I'm always correcting you because you be committing misdemeanors, but other than that, like we have a lot of alignment in our beliefs and how we approach the world, and we do sort of look alike. Like, I mean, that is like
Well, I think from my perspective, I gotta set you on the proper path, right? But I think this though, like truth be told, aside from what you say, right? You actually do walk, the path that's aligned with, all of the philosophies that I have. So, you're definitely not one of them girls that's out there who got messed up Carfax and you know what I'm saying, that you gotta be worried about dealing with dudes that are scrutinize you in certain type of ways to see if you eligible for you know getting into some deeper relations. So you don't have to worry about none of that. So in that kind of way, you already are walking a path that's aligned with my philosophies. And the way you live your life is that way to begin with. So
Mhm.
I feel like in action we definitely align, you know.
Absolutely. We both are very principled, disciplined,
Hmm.
you know, courteous. I think we're very courteous, although the second part of the show, we're going to dive deep into like the group chat has some questions about being a business owner and maintaining balances and boundaries. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's talk about it. And some real things have happened. And then the final thing that we're going to do today is the group chat wants you to connect with your loving side of yourself. And so you are going to take a love language quiz live. So I have set it up so that as your answers are populated, we are going to be able to see what your love language is. And again, we're all hoping that your closet gets more full and you get closer to, you know, the meaningful woman in your life. So there's a lot to cover today. But first, why don't we dive into our quiz so that And how we got to do the quiz is we actually have to take it together. So I'm going to say the answers and you need to record what you say, like what A, B, or C. So you got to get a pen so you remember it. So,
what you see is,
huh?
I got you.
All right. So,
I got to record.
yep.
Okay.
You got to record your answer because it's actually going to give us the order. So this will give us, we know our birth order, but folks who don't know us don't know it. And the quiz will see if we're really aligned, our characteristics are aligned with our birth order. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. When when your group is planning something important, what role do you take? Is it A, you organize things to make sure the plan happens? B, support the plan and help where needed? C, bring energy, humor, or new ideas? Or D, go with the flow unless needed? All right. So pick your answer and I can read them again if you need it. All right.
No, I got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 2, growing up, how did you respond to the rules of elders? Did you A, follow them closely? Did you B, question everything? Did you C, did things your own way? Did you D, avoid drama and stay quiet? So which one best? And this one's hard for me. I don't know about for you. I think there's some overlap.
Can you choose more than one?
I don't know. Let's try. What would? Yeah, let's try. The quiz self scores. So once I put our answers in. So let's. I like the idea of choosing more than one because I feel like I'm both, but in some areas. I think. All right. 3. How do you currently handle pressure? Do you A, take charge and try to fix things? Do you B, stay steady and become dependable? Do you C, keep things light to ease stress? Do you D, stay quiet until ready to act? I know. Gotta pick. Let's make it easier on ourselves and just pick one.
Okay, that's good.
I know we said, but it's going to be too hard if everything is overlap. So we got to pick one. All right. All right. You ready for 4? At family gatherings, what are you usually doing? B, making sure everything runs smoothly. I mean, I said B. I'm sorry. At family gatherings, what are you usually doing? A, I know that was terrible. A, making sure everything runs smoothly. B, checking in or helping others. C, bringing fun or connecting people. And D, observing until something interests me. All right, you got yours? In your career or when you were in school, describe which fits you the best. A, high expectations and pushed yourself. B, stable and reliable. C, prefer creative or flexible spaces. And D, want freedom and independence. All right. 6. What is your conflict response? A, solve immediately or wish to mediate. B, keep the peace, but bring no resolution. C, use humor or charm. D, avoid getting pulled in. All right, 7.
Uh-huh.
What was your childhood role with your siblings or cousins? Were you the responsible leader? B, the loyal supporter? C, the lively and expressive one? D, the independent one? And 8.
Mhm.
In team settings, what do you tend to do? Do you lead and direct? A, do you keep things on track? B, do you C, spark creativity or connection? Or D, work best alone and behind the scenes? I wish we could answer this for each other because I feel like I would have answered differently depending on certain things.
Mhm.
Like I'm curious to see how you answered. Why is this thing cut off? Hold on, my thing cut off, so I can't see the last question.
All right.
Hold on, one second, one second. Uh, okay. Yes. Okay. Number 9. When making big
Mhm.
life decisions about career, money, parenting, relationships, what do you typically do? Do you A, feel pressure to get it right because people depend on you? B, take time to weigh options and think practically? C, follow what feels exciting or meaningful in the moment? D, listen to your intuition and move quietly? Did you get that?
Mhm. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And the last one, 10.
Mhm.
How do you usually respond when someone close to you gives you an unexpected responsibility? That's a perfect one for our talk today. Do you A, handle it
Mhm.
right away because you're used to taking on all of everybody's problems? B, take it seriously but might need a moment to plan? C, try to make it fun or work it into your own flow? D, I'll help, but I might set boundaries.
Mhm.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, what did you answer for A? I mean, for 1, I'm sorry. What letter? I'm
I
like
see your
tripping.
mind all
Huh?
over. Well, I guess the way I see myself versus the way somebody else might see me, it's interesting. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I would say I answered A and D, given the different situations. You know what I mean?
A,
So
A,
like,
and A and D for 1.
yeah, yeah,
A
yeah,
and D. All right. See, you was over there
yeah.
breaking the rules. Okay. All right. I answered A. I'll tell you what it all means in a second. All right. For number 2, what did you answer?
I answered. So this is the rules of elders, following the
Responding to
rules of
elders.
elders.
Uh huh.
Okay, I said. I answered. I would say either B and B and D.
Andy. All right.
Yeah, I did B and
Did you stop the double choices? My goodness. You're gonna
yeah,
make
I
it
did B and D. Sometimes I did some, but I say B and D most of the time.
Okay, B and D. All right. Number 3, handling pressure. What was your letter?
Number three. Let's see what number three was. All right. Um, A.
Only A?
Well, A and D, both of them. But I'm more A. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
More A. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. But I know you because
Yeah.
you. All right. 4. What letter?
Um, Shoot, this one I didn't really do too much. So this was a hard one for me. You know what I mean?
At family
Because
gatherings
I
one?
all of the above.
You did all
That's
the above.
all of the above. Yeah.
If you had to pick a dominant one, what would you say? Want me to
I
reread
don't
the
know.
question?
The family gathering, that's a difficult one because, but we'll go back to it because I don't know really that. I would say all of the above,
All right, all
depending
right.
on
Number 5, your work school
yeah,
style. What'd you pick?
high expectation. A,
Okay.
A.
And then number 7, childhood role.
Um, let's see, what was that? So that was that number six, or because number six like
Oh,
conflict resolution,
I'm sorry. Yes, I missed one.
conflict.
6. I'm sorry. I didn't put my glasses on. Yes, handling conflict.
All right,
Go.
yeah. I like that. I like to solve the conflict immediately.
Which one was that? A?
Yeah, A or D.
A or D? Okay. Oh, you
Yeah,
have an interesting
yeah.
style. All right. 7, your childhood role.
Uh,
Do you
D,
remember? B?
D like Delta.
Oh, D like Delta. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 8, team
Uh,
settings.
A or what's the D was best alone and behind the scenes or something.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Uh, I would say A, C, or D,
A,
but I'll
C,
go
or
more
D.
with A.
You go more
Yeah, but
there.
I go more with A. Yeah.
All right. Life decisions.
Uh huh. Um,
Number 9.
B. I go with B.
B. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last one, unexpected responsibility.
Um, B. B.
All right. Let
B
me
like
total
that.
it up for you. All right. So you have an interesting birth order style. The majority of your responses fell in the D, which means you have an independent, only child type of style where you rely only on yourself and the values that are placed on your own decision making. But when I factor in the other areas, A was the next one, which means you have a preference to be the oldest. Typically, it's displaying the leadership role and wanting to be a role model. So you had a blended style throughout. Um, that's because you picked to, which is so you. Um,
It makes sense because in a certain kind of a way, I am that duality. I'm the only boy in our family, and then I was alone a lot because the two girls always were together, like they were
right,
raised together. Yeah,
right.
so
That's
I was always so I mean it makes sense.
It does. It makes sense. It kind of it the good thing about some of these quizzes, it kind of exposes like what it was like for us that ways we didn't think about it. Because I'm the youngest, so all I know is you all. Like my life, I don't even have there's not one memory in my life where I didn't have siblings. So I don't even think of life without siblings or consider that. And so it's an interesting perspective when that happens. Like you guys were my first friends and my first enemies, the people I fought with first, the people I didn't like first, so it was all these kind of unique things. However, we were raised in an environment where it wasn't a traditional family environment initially. So there was a lot of differences. And so my style, I had
Mhm.
more O's than any other. I'm sorry, more A's, which was the oldest, meaning I took a leadership role. I just wanted to be a good role model, and really relied on a lot of autonomy, which it may not feel like that from you, from your perspective, but it really makes sense because after a certain period in my life, I was also by myself. Both my siblings moved out, particularly, or had some kind of consequence or experience when I was in that important developmental period that made me have to rely on myself all by myself. And then the other
Mhm.
area that came up, second highest on mine, was the youngest. So I got a lot of C's in
Mhm.
there too. I got more A's than C's, but that kind of does match who I am, especially around like bringing in fun, making sure everybody's having a good time, being a little bit
Mhm.
whimsical in social interactions. So I think the birth order quiz that I took really, really matched who I was, and it really matched our family dynamic. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
but most of like, and I only had very few like highly independents, even though I do feel like I'm an independent person. I had very few of those on my list. So we are all indeed, for people who do not believe we're siblings, we are definitely siblings. We were raised in the same house. I am 11 months younger than my brother. And I felt like we did a lot of stuff together. I mean, we were Ralph and Susie. I mean, that was you're my first imaginary friend where we embodied all these like new characters, but you felt like you were alone all the time. I did not. I felt like I always had siblings. But again, I have a totally different perspective than you. So for all those people who are questioning whether we are really siblings, we are really indeed siblings. He is my biological. We share the same mama and the same daddy. But because of that doesn't mean that we can't have like really big differences. Um and one other question that came from the group chat was, when we were kids, how did we settle debates? Can you do you And this was hard for me because I was like, I don't know that I ever didn't get along with you in childhood. Like, I feel like we
I
got
mean,
along.
I guess I'm not sure if we fought to settle debates if we really had a difficult debate.
We
But
never
usually,
fight ever
not
in
me and you. I would say, well, we had some we had some disagreements, but I would
just
say
never gotten a
probably
fist.
probably
Absolutely never. You've
no,
never
no,
hit.
we ain't never got no part, no. But I would say that both of us have been in some altercations with the older one.
Well, she's not
I think.
allowed. She's not even a part of this discussion since she's not on the
Okay, okay, I'm with you on that. But I was
So
just saying, like,
that
you talking
older
about our conflict?
one, see, look at
Yeah,
you.
yeah, both.
You stay being messy, and that's what I'm talking about. You always do messy stuff, and I'm not touching that.
But when you said that, that's what I thought of. I was like, okay, well, yeah. But when we had conflicts, we would fight it out, I guess, ultimately.
Well, I think
But
I would say this: if we're bringing up the oldest, that oldest was very conflict ridden. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say that either of us started fights, right? Like, I would think that I felt like, it was totally like I said, my part is this. The first best friends that I ever had were my brother and my sister. Like, literally, I don't
mhm,
remember. There is not one memory, not one imprinted memory that I have that you all aren't in it. Like my first memories, um, I remember your head shape. I remember when you sucked your thumb. I remember just everything. I remember everything. There's no memory where like I'm by myself, right? So
mhm,
it was never my intention, even in childhood, to get rid of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all were like my little playmates. I learned from you. You did my homework, for God's sake. You know, that's why I'm terrible in math, because my brother did all my homework in math, you know? So like I never ever wanted that. So if conflict happened, it certainly did not start because of me. It was in reaction to some terrible display by another sibling, which it was never you. You were never really mean to me. I can't remember a time that we got in an argument. There was one time though that always comes up for me, was when you pushed me off the bed because I bothered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. I remember that.
so I told,
I
so
remember
if
that.
I
I
had to
mean,
send it,
there's been several times that we had like little bitty conflicts, you know what I mean? But that I would say that might have been led, that you were the center of it. You know what I mean? Like
me,
one to me was, yeah, yeah. I remember when you were for your wedding, the first wedding you had with Bruce, right?
yeah.
And you know, I didn't know Bruce at the time, and the oldest came over talking about, yeah, his sister gonna be part of her bridesmaid party. You gonna be, y'all done made pawn me off to be part of the groomsmen thing, which made no sense to me at all.
Do
Because
you
I
know
was
how
like,
ridiculous you sound? Like everybody in the group chat is going to fire off. If I asked people in the group chat right now, should my brother, whether you knew my husband or not at the time, been in my wedding, 100% of people will sound off and say, yes, he should be in your wedding and you should make sure he's in.
I just
But my
imagine,
brother,
I just, I just imagine right now, right? If
oh my
my
gosh,
homeboy said, I've gotten married or whatever, and I imagine myself in that situation, me being Bruce. You feel me? And then Bruce being me, for example. And I'm thinking like, this is my groomsmen party, right? I mean, like
you know,
these the dudes that I hold near and dear and close, and that
this
we
is a
supposed to be
powerful
celebrating this.
display. This is the first time I will be calling you selfish, because that is for so
I
it,
did, I
it,
did it, I did it, didn't I?
it was you did.
I did it.
I had to go. Let's
Yeah,
tell
but
people what I had to
like,
do.
what the stuff is this?
Let's tell
What
people
kind
what I had
of
to do. Let's tell the people what I
what,
had to do.
what,
I had to
was
go to your house.
Was Bruce bored with this, or was this something that like women
You
come,
when we were coming up with our list, okay, siblings were automatic wedding people. Siblings were automatic. There was no like, oh, are people going to be in and out? Our siblings were automatic. Whether we knew, I didn't know his sister that well. We lived in a whole other state. So of course our siblings were automatic.
how did that first come up? Because I didn't know. Uh, First of all, that the whole thing is odd to me. Every wedding that I experienced, the dude had his group of friends and close relatives, all the men he held dear as his groomsmen party.
You're
And the
insane.
female had all the women that she held dear. So this whole thing was a new thing to me. I never seen nothing like it.
The
And then
wedding,
somebody gonna come, they take this thing on you. They be like, hey, I thought, but even in being a groomsman, like a regular one, I only had the privilege and honor of being of doing that like one time. Salute to my brother Ray. I was at his grooming party, but I ain't never, like I said, like the men I know, they ain't the whole thing about trying to have weddings and stuff like that ain't their thing. You know what I mean? But
problem.
even
Not hanging around good models. This is the you're not hanging around good models. This is why you all will never get in the group chat. The bottom line is, the wedding party is for the people who are getting married. When I got married,
True.
I wanted it to be the people I love the most. Bruce wanted it to be the
So that
people
was you
who love.
who contacted this. You did this. That was part of your
He
plan.
did this. He
I,
wanted.
I
He
gotta talk.
wanted.
I gotta talk to you. I gotta find out if Bruce desired that, and that was part of his plan. But
You know what?
that whole thing sounds weird.
It was.
It's
I
really
remember
weird.
that. And we're still, you know what? This is a good discussion, because I have forgotten how upset I was. And even this was when the oldest was crazy. Okay. That person knew that you were supposed to be in my wedding. So we had to together come to your house and tell you how important it was. And I want to tell you something. It's memorialized in your face because when you took pictures at my wedding, your face like the whole time. You're supposed to be smiling.
I think that's a guilty conscience stuff.
Not mine.
But that's how you got that. I'm wondering if the lucky woman that would be considered my bride, if I told her, hey, my sister's gonna be part of your bridesmaid party, just make that a thing or whatever. I don't know. That whole situation was
get
weird
rid
to
of
me.
that woman. If she says your sister, you get rid of her right now.
Like the dynamic was the way it was, because at that time I ain't really know Bruce like that. So to be like, he go. So I'm gonna be the odd man in, like everybody else in his situation, in his groomsmen party, all know each other, got the bonds and all this stuff, and then, hey, I'm gonna just throw my brother in there like a chip. He gonna be in there too. I still did it.
Did you enjoy yourself?
But at the end of the day, that was a little odd. That was a little.
It's only odd. Sometimes there's certain things I really enjoy about your mind, right? And I always have, like, you're very analytical, you're creative, you actually see things that nobody else sees. But the interpersonal part is very unique because you're very, I work with a lot of spectrumy kids and they do something funny. Like I was with one 2 days ago and he just kind of blurted out his mouth that, Dr. James, when you come in the room, sometimes you just smile all the time. What are you smiling about? He was like, and he listed all the things, the reasons why people smile. He says, you smile when you're happy, when it's funny, this and that, right? He's like, but you walked in the room today and you gave me a smile and that's bothering me. And I thought to myself, this is such a unique brain, right? This little poor person doesn't understand that smiles don't have to just be because I'm just happy, or it's a way to greet. It's a way. So I had to explain to this young person who his brain works different. He's on the spectrum and it bothered him, which I really appreciated from one perspective, that he was like, because I'm like, well, we about to fight because I'm smiling? Like, what's about to happen because this is bothering you so? But this is how your brain works in interpersonal things. You're like, my sister who's getting married, she's going to go be in some part of someone's whole other family. Why would she want me in her wedding? I don't know. That's weird because I'm going to be standing with the dudes. No, you're there for me too. So I need you to, there's therapy for you. It's not odd.
That's super odd.
It's not odd.
So look, so before, before, like the groom then have a bachelor party, right? And a woman has a bachelorette party, correct?
They could or they can't. Some women do not, but go ahead.
Did y'all have one?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. All right, so then, but it's not co-ed, meaning like the bachelor and bachelorette parties are not combined together.
No.
So that means that this odd man out is participating in an event totally on his own. You know what I mean? Without the benefit of like the interpersonal. It'd be different if we grew up together. Me and Bruce grew up together or something like that. That'd be different.
That bachelor party is your opportunity to see the quality and character of person I am bringing into your family.
See, you can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. You see how the women they gonna just throw you on the table like a card. You know what I mean? Like my brother's gonna be this. I was just telling you, I'd be happy to just be there as a guest. Yeah, I ain't got to be in it. But okay, cool. You want me to be in it? I'll be in it.
I think you were being cheap. I think you were being cheap because there's responsibility about being a groomsman. You had to buy your own tux, and you had to, you had to go to the bachelor. You did.
No, I told you. It's funny, right? Because that's another thing what women do. It's the man that told you directly what the problem is. I I already did share with you the problem. But then what you did is just made up something for a while. Boy, you was just being cheap. Nah, it wasn't. I spent the money, I spent the time. That wasn't it. I told you what the thing was. It was weird. That was the weirdest thing. It would be like, you know, I think I would feel funny if a woman dictated to me, like, hey, my brother gonna be in your groomsmen party. Like, what? How do you know that nigga? Like, what you gonna be doing in this thing? Like, like that's weird. So I just felt like that's the truth. Ain't no more or less to it. You know what I mean? That's
Your
what it
truth
is.
is
That's the
that
one.
it was weird that you had to be, and okay, so would you have rather stood on my side?
No, I mean, I told you if I was a guest and sitting on your side, I've been fine with that. I've been fine with that. I didn't need to be part of it. But
Well,
just the way it was, it would just seem weird. It seemed like, okay, okay, because he
you
wanted his sister to be part of your own group, bro. So now you like that seemed kind of petty. Like, well, she gonna be on my side, my brother's gonna be on yours. Like, that's seemed petty to me. But I don't know. That's why I always want to know what Bruce's involvement in that was. Because never did he come to me and say, I mean, like y'all the two people getting married, and if this is the way y'all dropping it down, you could have been like, "Hey, I want me and Bruce together. We want to invite you to be. We want to let you know we want this. It wasn't like that. You come with the oldest, and it seemed like this was some plan y'all caught y'all to put together. I'm like, this is a weird. Y'all, these girls are wild. You know what I mean?
you
They're
know what?
wild.
Because I know that you are just like my spectrum children. You're still being re-instructed. I'm going to let you grow in that area. And I want it to be known. And now we're going to tell everybody, if you ever get married to someone that's high value and you do not invite me as a part of the bridal party, I'm doing something inappropriate at your wedding.
So
I
then I
don't,
mean that the woman just need to know, huh? She just
you
got
know,
a
just
couple of
know.
extra bridesmaids.
And,
Well,
to be
that's good to know. I didn't know.
bridesmaids, we do it's on our own expense. It's not like it's
Mhm,
too much for the bride. She has another person to
mhm,
help her, usher her into this
mhm.
situation. I get to monitor her character if I don't know her well, which hopefully at this age you wouldn't be bringing nobody home to marry that I don't know. But I never know because you do extracurricular stuff. So I would be a good informant of character. So it shouldn't be weird to your person that I totally want to be in the wedding. Like I want to be there. I don't have to be one or two. I want to be a bridesmaid. Okay?
I hear you. I hear
No
you.
words
We'll
unspoken.
see.
And if you marry a woman who is of low value in that way, that says, I don't know your sister. She can't be in my wedding. Recognize that forever. And the problem is you could get rid of this woman, but you never
You
ever get rid of me. So, and you're gonna
Well,
probably
you wouldn't hope to be getting it going into wedding and stuff. Like, certain little things I do hold sacred, So I definitely wouldn't be marrying somebody that I would think would be a throwaway at some future point. So
excellent.
hopefully it wouldn't be on me if I made a decision to marry a woman, I ain't throwing her away.
Oh, look,
So
see the group. This is
I'll say
hold on
this,
to these words,
this
group
I would take it.
group chat. He found a spot. That was soft. I want to stick to that word. If he gets married, they're not throwaway people, which, again, the closet's empty. Um, so in addition to that was really, really fun. And I hope people felt like they got to know us a little bit. And I think the moral of that question was me and my brother really don't fight except like this. This is how we fight. We make fun and we make each other laugh. We don't fight. I haven't had to fight with him. However, I have had to consult him all week long because I have had such work drama. And I think there's some good lessons in our work drama that this would be a great time to pivot. Because for those who don't know us and are getting to know us and then ask these stupid questions like, oh, are they really siblings and whatever? How this all started was I called my brother almost every day, several times a day, to vent about being a business owner. And my brother is also a business owner and he brings a lot of value because his business is quite successful. And we have been, how long have you been in business? I've been in business for myself since 2013. My brother, I think, has been in
We're
business much longer
celebrating
than
20 years.
that, 20 years.
Celebrating 20 years. Yeah,
So he's been in
yeah.
business for 20 years by himself. And the business is very, I learn from him and he gives me great tools. So this week, some important kind of challenges came that, one we talked through, but also he gave me some insight into what it's like to be a role model for both your friends and people that you work with in business, but also how that role model can be taken advantage of. So I'm going to bring up a story, and again, I'm love to hear how everybody else would have handled this story. But a colleague of mine who I went to grad school with, um, and also had an adjacent practice, like a practice that was not similar but did certain things, closed their practice. And they came to me and said, I want to work for your practice. And they described the things that they thought they could bring to the practice. And then the dollar amount that they said was, so I'm going to bring these things to your practice, but I need to make this amount of money from you. And so it was a big amount of money. It wasn't a small amount of money. And it was not really an ask. It was like a demand the way my ears received it. And so I had to sit with that for a minute because um, my first reaction was like, why do you want to work for me? We do different things. And my question to my brother initially was like, is it a good idea to work with friends? Right? Like, would you hire somebody that, is your friend? Um, Even before I got all the list of other demands, which didn't go well for either for the person. Um, and what would you tell me? What did you tell me about that when we talked about like hiring our friends and when we work for our friends?
The probability is not favorable, I
Mm.
think, because the thing is this. I think every person, when they achieve some level of success in whatever way it looks like for them, their heart is usually to involve their family and friends. From whether you playing basketball and you got a little entourage, an entertainer or something like that. You start pulling your friends into things that they ain't even qualified for. You know what I mean?
Right.
And family members too, and all that stuff. But I think that there's a tendency to take advantage of these, for lack of a better word of describing it, the tenderness inside of that relationship, because you always do when you got sincere uh, care for each other. You always want the best for each other, or that's how it's supposed to be. And if that's the case, then you always want to see your people thrive, just like you thriving. But it may not necessarily be off of you know, the same thing. So I would say that if we ain't aligned in philosophy, like moral values and all this stuff, we ain't aligned in that, and then it's going to be really difficult to be under the same roof in terms of business. Because I think I take the business very seriously, and it's you know the way I provide a lifestyle for myself and my family. So if somebody's going to be involved in it, if they're not as vested in it as I am, then it's an issue. And I think like coming in the door with it, you can always tell when when it's a one-sided thing. Because like right now, let's just say I'm in a similar boat, being a business owner, right? Whereas like if the clients I have, they kind of like we're in partnership with each other in a certain type of a way. So when I look at it, I'm like, what value am I bringing to them? You know, and I know the marketable value I bring to them, a certain set of talents and skills, whatever. But I also am in partnered in them to achieve a certain outcome. But in order to achieve that outcome, I'm putting skin in the game. I'm coming to the table with something. But people sometimes, like in that request that you shared, in scenarios that I've endured, they don't have no skin in the game. They ain't got no, what I mean, they like, you give me, you know,
Right.
give me an opportunity, give me a job so I can earn or whatever. And then and in earning, I will learn and I'll get a skill set and I'll build up and grow or whatever. But it ain't like, well, I see this gap that you have, and that gap that I can fill it in with value that I can bring, and this
Right.
will enhance for both of us.
Right.
I would
Right.
prefer to see that. What do you think?
No, and I think that that's when you say what we do, it's got to be mutually beneficial. I think the other thing,
Mhm.
like, those are great nuggets. That's what I needed to hear. That's what you shared with me, and it was a really important message. I think the other thing is we have to recognize that we are models to people, right? And I
Mhm.
think people who know us, like this person knew me from grad school when I was, you know, scraping and grinding and running the gauntlet and doing this the chitlin circus. And even in grad school, I would say that we would say little things to each other like, when we get this such and such, we're going to do this for each other. And I would have genuinely did that, right? Like, I think at that level, we were all growing together and there was some level of like advancement and learning that we were all doing together. But at this level, so I say, let me close that loop. I say that to say, I recognize that when people see someone who's been in business for 20 years, or I've been in business since 2013, it feels very like easy because they know you win, right? So they know you win when Xadian wasn't so, rooted
Mhm.
in business and he wasn't so successful. They know me when I was like little old Sarita, like scrapping and but
Mhm.
that's not who I am now. And so when they see any success, I think the real part of them is like, well, why I can't be her? Like if she can do it, I can do it. And that
Well,
ain't
we
necessarily
all
true.
think that way. We all, well, I know it ain't true, but I mean, we all think that way. I feel like I heard this dude, Andrew Tate, say uh, on online or some shit. He said that uh, when he was broke and poor, he saw a dude drive by in like a Lamborghini, Ferrari, or something. He was wondering, well, in an envious way, why he got that and I don't have that. And
Mhm.
then that drove him to to acquire those type of things, which I admire the grit and grind and all that stuff that took to make that happen. But in a very real sense, we all think we could be that other person. We connected to it and all this stuff, but we can't fill the shoes of anybody else but our own. But to me, in business, and I tell my team this all the time, which is that everything we do in life is really just wielding the principles of building like a relationship. And some people build it in a healthy way, and some people don't. But to me, like in this business thing, you know, how you know a relationship is healthy is that both sides have something to give. You know what I mean? It's just like right now, if I look at it and I say, uh, there's a industrial area here that has no hospitality stuff. Like it's just all working buildings, right? But there's no food or lunch or something like that. And I'd say that's a need. You got to leave this place and go 2, 3, 4, 5 miles away. Well, why don't I bring, some food here so you can get it right here locally and all that stuff. And if I do that, then I'm bringing a value to the table and people going to support it because it's making their life easier, better, and all that. So fundamentally, it's just that really. It's like, what are you? So if a person want to come, join our business family, it's like, well, what are you going to contribute to this family? Like,
Mhm.
what do you have? Do you have a set of skills or things already developed that coming into the door when the rubber hits the road, you'd be able to pull this thing together? Or, for instance, if I wanted to build join like a consortium group or something, let's just say we want to build, come together as owners of tech companies and whatnot, and we want to be $1 billion company, the first like fully minority owned or black male owned tech company that's $1 billion. And I could say, I'm bringing 100 million to the table, and 9 other people bringing 100 million to the table, we automatically a billion. You know, so we all bringing that together. But then if I ain't making nothing, I just started a year ago. I'm just all overhead debt, and I'm like, make me part of that consortium. I'm really not bringing nothing to them, but I'm asking them to give me everything, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then those relationships never really work out because uh, once I get, you know what I mean, I probably want to pull away from and take what I've learned and the assets and resources I got connected to and go do something to benefit me and not pour that back into the business family that you're trying to drain from. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I don't like those philosophies because I would say like sometimes you have a family and they got talent. Like our extended family got a lot of talent. You know, we got people that can do like videographies, people that are uh, musically gifted, all this stuff. So we got like some components, and maybe we could if the drive and determination, desire, and all that stuff all align with cross everybody, we could make something happen because we could be like, well, you will stir the ingredients in the pot, and the people that got the talents, like I might got the business mind that I can bring to the table, and then start building the relationships, and then open doors for your talent to be able to be expressed and shine, and then you can get revenue coming in and all this stuff, and then we can agree on how that's going to break down amongst each other based on the contributions and efforts that people put in and all that. Like, I
That
think
that's reciprocal, is what you're saying. That
it's
is
reciprocal, yeah. And people coming to the table with giving, but also like all these relationships, most of the time it be like all, just one sided, right? Like let's just say, for instance, if I'm inside of a thing where a person might be like, well, there was some sort of connection at some point in time, right? But then they done moved on, I'd have moved on, whatever. And then a need comes up for them. Like, well, I need a place to stay or opportunity is happening. My life is hard and I need you could help me. Yes, I could. But in the interim time, when before this, hair on fire urgent,
right.
life circumstances falling on you, you didn't do nothing to build, the foundation of a deep connection with me. So I
Correct.
have no incentive whatsoever to involve myself in it because I already know this shit one sided. This
Well, and
benefits you, but it ain't.
I would describe that as unhealthy boundaries because you know you can.
Mhm,
Grandma used to say you can only get used if you let somebody use you, and that's true.
mhm,
Like we are only in
mhm,
this position of being manipulated, used, or taken advantage of
mhm,
because we've opened doors for that. And so that brings
mhm,
me to kind of my next thing is like, well, how do you confront that? So I don't always get the confrontation right. I will say I'm very much Grandma Rose's granddaughter, even in business, even with all these decorations and stuff. I'm very much myself, and now I'm too old to change that. To be quite honest, like I'm not gonna really change it. I do have a problem. Bruce used to calls it gunpowder on my tongue. And after a while, I have no room for it. So I will tell you how it ended. So for folks who want to know, it did not end well because my boundary was one, I gotta address the egoic reaction, which was, how does this bitch think that she gonna come work for me? And as if I felt diminished in some way where she thought she could do exactly what I could do. She's not bringing, actually, she can't do what I can do. We're trained in different areas. We have different areas of strengths. And um, so I was really like, and the things that she was bringing to the table, I don't even offer. So I'm not a Medicaid dependent firm. And so that's where that person lived for the time that they were in practice. So even if they brought clients over to our clinic side, because I have different arms, my clinic doesn't run off of Medicaid or Medicare. So that would really be a net return of zero for what that person brought. And so the egoic side was like, I don't even, we're not swimming even in the same pond. What would have felt better is if that person said, hey, I want to come and learn from you and understand how you've, set your business up so you can sustain even in these kind of times. And in exchange for that, the learning, I'll commit to X. But that's not what it was. So it was,
Well,
I need.
I need more than that because I feel like, I don't want people to just learn off me. You know what I mean? Because I know that definitely, been there, done that. Like what you say, you like to say the t-shirt and the mug joint. But I
Mhm.
already been, people, I already, been there, like seeing that people can learn and grow off me. But what I want is to also learn and grow off somebody else as well. So
Correct.
you come into the room and you got some talent beyond me, beyond the talent I have. I would say if a person really want to get your attention on something, right? And they can and they really do have value, why don't they come into the door with opportunity? Like you said, if they
Right.
were like Medicaid dependent and all that, they say, I got a practice that's worth X amount of book of business. Let's say
Mhm.
that Medicaid dependent thing was 500,000. And let's say yours was. Putting the two together, that's $1 million business right there. And that's attractive, right? So I
Mhm.
would say, what does that mean? Honestly, when I bought this little fancy car and I had to get it inspected or whatever, while I was waiting for it to get inspected, the I was overhearing these two gentlemen at a table sitting next to me at a coffee shop, and they were talking. They were investors in business. One melanated dude, one Caucasian dude, and they were sharing stories about the investments that they was doing. And the Caucasian dude, he had mentioned something, and it stuck with me. I was so intrigued. I was ear hustling like a motherfucker on that conversation. But I was like, damn, that was smart what he was saying, because he was like, some company wanted me to invest in it. They had this plan, and in their plan, it was like a 5-year plan, and they had a growth goal. So let's just say they started from zero, and they want him to invest $1 million in their business, and they want to reinvest the profits in it. So in 5 years, that business will be like 500 million.
Right.
And this dude was, so what would you want me to do for you guys, other than, if you want me to be an investor partner, is there any other things you would want? And they was really didn't want anything other than for them to
The
show
money.
them how to grow. And he said that wasn't a good deal for him, because he said, um, I need to think of, well, if I invest this $1 million, how long will it take me to get that money back, plus the interest on top of it? So he said a better deal for him would have been, instead of investing all of the profit into it, would be like, all right, if you come in as an investor for this period of time, you'll get 30% of all the profits, and you help us grow and all this stuff. So he said that means in the 5 years, he would have made his million back plus some.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that would be attractive to me. So
Yeah.
I said, see, that makes sense, because like right now, if a person want to come to me and they say, well, I want to work with you, right? But in order for me to get a job with you, I'm gonna come into the door with a client. You know, it's a so this is a real client that got real opportunities that have not been realized yet, because I can't service them, because you
Right.
guys have the capabilities. You'll service them, so you'll make money off of that. And out of the money you make off of that, you can pay me.
Right.
And then from here, I'll be able to do the same thing. I'll go out and find some additional clients and stuff like that. That's
Right.
a good deal,
That's a good
because you
deal.
already bring in value. You know what I mean?
But
But if
how
you're
do you
going to just say, well,
communicate that to
I
your,
can do this. Hmm?
how do you
What do
commute?
you say?
Because see, I think that's the problem is I miss the
Well,
communication.
people don't want to see it the same. I think like this conversation, it always ends up bad, because the person believes you can, that you have the answer, you have a solution for them. Like you can solve my problem, which is I need revenue. You know,
Well, I think
you
that's
got
desperation. I think that's desperation because what I share with my friend was, I'm in the same boat you are. Funding streams have changed. I have to be as creative. I'm learning new funding mechanisms, building new relationships. I'm in the same boat you are. The difference is I have not yet shut my doors. I understand why this person's
Yeah,
shutting their
and
doors.
there, I ain't fell on my goal. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because
I
like
have
this is this none of these things is easy, yo. Like I was thinking about looking at like the great people, like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these people, really great people in terms of the talent and what they gave to the world and their and its expression and how they were able to capitalize on it and monetize it for themselves. But that talent is hard work. You know what I mean? And people want to put in that hard work, the sleepless nights, all this stuff that you got to go through, the sacrifice and everything. Like, instead of me going out to, partying and barring and stuff like that, I'm here, envisioning, how I'm going to grow this to the next level and strategizing and then put my time into planting these seeds that's going to bloom. You know what I mean? Or setting up my lifestyle to where everything in my life has meaning and purpose in a way to get me to my goals and the attainment of those things. But
right,
I'm cutting out all the frivolous stuff that everybody else enjoying. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
So,
right.
but then after I've done all of that, you want me to just open everything up and then
And
just
give
say,
it
so I,
to you.
yeah.
Here, and
So
give it to
so
you. They're like,
what I
give it to me.
yeah, exactly. Just get to, and I feel like, every time that I've done that, it hasn't worked out well. And it
Right.
is a relationship damager. Even if from my perspective, because there's been some times that I've opened up the door and it didn't work out. And I look at it and I'm like, well, you don't even realize
The call.
the what it cost me to do this. Like
Hmm.
the time to train you, the time it took away from us to look for other business,
Yeah.
well, these resources when they could have covered more ground to earn more. We
Hmm.
wasted it on doing this with you, and this thing doesn't even work out in the end for where it'd be a benefit to us. And you don't even go out there and push it in a way that anything comes back to us in a way that we can, eat off of it and see a return. So those types of things is just like a whole big old nothing sandwich. You feel
So
me?
do you
And
just tell
then
them
all of
not
it.
to come to you? Do you say just don't come to me?
Yeah.
Don't.
Well, it's funny because anytime somebody come with you with a request, it to me it challenges the relationship because it ultimately is going to be a relationship breaker if you say no to it, right?
Well,
So
it
you
should.
just know this, and sometimes you say no and you know it's going to be, but it shouldn't be, right? Because
Okay.
sometimes like somebody could ask you something and you know, that's why I say sometimes things ain't a request, it's a demand.
Demand.
I demand you to give me a job. I
Yep.
demand you to make this thing happen, and you don't do this. And I don't operate off of demands. I take more of this country's perspective of where we come from. Like I don't negotiate with the terrorists, right? So if you got demand, and I'm definitely ain't taking no demands,
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think like you make it easy. I always tell people make your own self a home here. You make it easy when you do things that can benefit the organization. Like you have a marketable skill that the organization is able to sell and use right now, today. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And we have those type of relationships where that can happen so we can benefit it and not on some pie in the sky future thing and what up like that stuff ain't nothing because
Not
we
real.
ain't gonna eat right now, but I'm gonna be paying you while we trying to figure this new concept out.
Right.
So
Right.
no, we can't work that. You got to bring, and no one else operates like that. Like all of these big organizations and all that stuff, they don't do it. Like they not taking on the risk of like some uncertainty and unknown and all that stuff.
But you
And
want a
they
small
not
business
you.
to do it. Right. Right. You want a small
Yeah,
business.
yeah. And I think
So
it's not fair. Like it ain't even wise. Like I
it's
think
not
like
wise. It's not
you
wise. It's not wise.
because you
And
question somebody's.
you gave me the,
Go ahead.
is this a demand or an ask? And that's kind of how it ended. Is I didn't say it as nice. I think I said this feels like a demand, and when I've considered the ask, it just isn't fruitful for me. And you know what I got back, which really was upsetting, was that this description of who they thought I was. So you don't want to help other people. You want to hoard this and hoard your money and hoard, and but one day it's not going to be good for you. And my reaction to them was, I'm sad that that person sees it that way. And it really, like I said, there's one thing for me. I'm not one of those that recycle people who show me who they are. So clearly
Yeah.
all the things that were said in that conversation, that person believes and feels about me, and their disappointment stands out. There was never any room for no. But I'm human too, so you can't just be telling me how horrible I am and think I'm just gonna be sitting there and taking it. I did not.
Now,
Um,
I'm with you on that 100%. So we really are blessed when anytime that shows up, because I think somebody told me uh it's better for a man to know his enemy. I can't remember how this goes, but Wes told me this joint. It was really good. He said something about it's better for you to know that a person is an enemy rather than for you to think that they're a friend and they really be enemy in the end.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I agree with that 100%. So I'm like, to me, uh, I like it when these things happen because it kind of like exposes a person, right?
yeah,
And it shows you like where they really are, like if they really more selfish, self-oriented, or if they're really for you, And I
right.
think somebody that's really for you, they're gonna always try to prop you up and
Mhm.
be in your corner and try to do some things to like uplift you and stuff and not like just drain you. But there's some people who they really could care less.
Mhm.
If you're not a benefit for them, then
Yeah,
ultimately they ain't got nothing for you. And I think like for those people, I love it when the universe exposes it, because then
yeah,
I know like there's no need to waste no more time. You know.
I agree. All right, now it's
Mm-hmm.
time for us to get out of here, but I
Mm-hmm.
cannot leave without you doing your quiz. So let
All
me
right, let's do it.
share my screen so the group chat can feel like uh you
But while
have
you see that screen, I'm gonna tell you this: like, I'm not a fan of like love languages because I don't believe in it. You know what I mean? I don't believe in like love languages and stuff like that because I
Lord
feel
have
like
you already
love,
sabotaged.
love, yeah, like let's just say this, right? Because like how uh Oso said this. Remember, he said that his dog can talk. Remember?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I was thinking that there's a communication between species, even though the species don't speak the same language.
Uh-huh.
So just imagine like you and Mosley and like me and DeMarco or whatever. And I was thinking in between the species and whatnot, there's a communication that occurs, which means that I could feel him because there's a real emotional connection there. You know what I mean? And he could feel me, and he ain't even human. He a dog or whatever, right? So I think that I don't believe in these love language things, but I'm gonna entertain this quiz for the
Just do
sake of
it
the
for
group chat.
fun. Just do it for fun. And then, we got somebody couch for you to lay on. It's some kind of language you speaking, but let's do it. Is it more
All right, let's
meaningful
roll.
to me when someone I love sends me a loving note, text, email for no special reason, or I hug someone I love?
Shit, I like both.
You always living in duality. You gotta choose.
Yeah, I mean, let's go with the hug.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Is it
Yeah.
more meaningful to me when I can spend alone time with somebody I love, just us, or someone I love does something practical to help me out? You struggle
I
so hard.
mean, again, I like both. You know what I mean? But
Oh, you just be struggling, struggling, struggling.
I like both. But I would say maybe the alone time.
Just us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more meaningful to me when someone I love gives me a little gift as a token of our love of concern for each other? Or I get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with those I love?
Yeah, the uninterrupted time.
Is it more meaningful to me when someone I love does something unexpected for me to help me with a project? Or I can share an innocent touch with someone I love.
An innocent touch. I don't know what the hell does the innocent touch mean. I mean, I dig them both, but I'll go with the help me out with something.
Okay. Is it more meaningful to me when someone I love puts their arm around me in public, or someone I love surprises me with a gift?
I'll go with the arm around.
Is it more meaningful to me when I'm around someone I love, even if I weren't not really doing anything? Or
Mhm.
I can be comfortable holding hands, high fiving, or putting my arm around someone I love.
Dang, that's like the same thing, right?
If I'm around someone I love, even if we're not really doing anything, so just being in their presence, or I can be comfortable holding hands, high fiving, or putting my arm around someone I love. So one has to do with just like their presence, the other one has to do with their touch.
Yeah, I'd rather the touch part, not just the presence. You know what I mean? Yeah,
It's
you
more
gotta touch
meaningful to
something.
me when I receive a gift from someone I love, or I hear from someone that I love. I, I hear from someone I love that they love me.
Yeah, the second one.
Is it more It's more meaningful to me when I sit close to someone I love, or I'm complimented by someone I love for no apparent reason.
Sit close.
It's more meaningful to me when I get the chance to hang out with someone I love, or I unexpectedly get small gifts from someone I love.
Hang out.
It's more meaningful to me when I hear someone I love tell me I'm proud of you, or someone I love helps me with a task.
Hmm. I like both of those. I mean, I guess we can go with the proud of you.
It's more meaningful to me when I get to do things with someone I love, or I hear supportive words from someone I love.
Do things with.
Yo, this quiz is 30 questions.
Oh, that shit's long as a mug.
It's you got to finish this up next time, and we have to give him the score because I got a meeting coming in like 10 minutes. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One last question, and then we'll finish this up on our own, and then
Uh,
we'll send it. It's more meaningful
yeah.
to me when someone I love does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things, or I feel connected to someone I love through a hug.
The first one.
All right, I'm sorry to cut this off short. I promise we'll finish this up the next time. Folks are gonna be mad at me. I know that group chat's gonna be fired up. They listening. They want to see your answers. We gonna make sure they got your answers. Um, and then for everybody who joined us today, we appreciate you very much. We're gonna have some guests coming very soon. We're working on scheduling. We're very happy that folks are starting to join us. We're also very happy that you are in our community and hanging out in the Rose Garden with us. It's our safe space, and we hope it's a safe space for you. Anything else, my brother, before we leave?
You said that eloquently. Y'all ditto on all of the above. Appreciate you all.